Any questions?
And so the thing with the mom. So I have a big problem with, the whole thing with sorry, my dress falling now. I have a big issue with the whole thing with your mom, because I'm a big believer that if you're somebody and you have kids, then you don't bring your kids around people who are going to cause any abuse or any harm to them. And I'm just really big on that. And to me, like, hearing you talk about the fact that that your mom would, she would want to go, but then he zombified her and stuff like that, or whatever,
Yeah, it's real
and
weird.
stuff.
It's real weird.
And with that, I don't, you know what I'm saying? With that, like, that's on a whole nother scale. Like, and we ourselves don't know about that, but like, I would think like your mom would have had to have some kind of suspicion.
She did
that something was going on, and she could have did something. Like, I feel like
she did
there's
do something.
but
she brought her brother, which is my uncle Joe. She brought him there.
Okay.
So what had happened is that because he's kind of, maybe drugs, maybe not, and we had gone to a store, whatever. This guy pointed at a cigarette case and he picked it up. They say, no, he's smoking something out of a metal pipe.
Okay.
And my abuser gave it to him. Okay. So what happens is that he starts to see my abuser hits my mom. That's when my Uncle Joe started, he was, he's like, what are you doing? Leave her alone. Just calm down. But it's weird because he is the supplier to my uncle's addiction. So he's not really gonna, protect his sister, which would be my mom.
Okay.
Or us. Me or his nose.
Okay.
So what happened is that I'm in the front room and I see him. I'm like, yeah, get him, Uncle, get him. Get him, get him. I'm saying that. But he comes out in the front room and his face is all swollen or whatever. And then he just pushes my mom against the TV. My mom does this. She was more flexible back then and skinnier. She does this back bend all the way to the TV. And she was strong enough to back bend it back forward and throw the TV. I'm talking about the heavy one with the hump. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And then she left because she had to go to work since she went to work with some scars. Whatever.
Okay. So the thing is that, and so was your uncle fighting him, or just so people understand?
I was very disappointed.
So why did your uncle's face? Why was it?
Because he got beat up.
Okay, so
and then I look at the abuser's face and he's not hurt. And I'm like, what the hell?
All right. So the thing is kind of going back to the thing with your mom, is that she would have, okay, so she had suspicion, she got somebody there, but I think that, like, everybody has, like women particularly, you have a maternal instinct, and not to bring bad people around your kids, and so, for me, it's not enough that, that she just, that, you guys went through that and she have not, took precautions ahead of time, and to me, there's not any fucking excuse to me for why she could get away with that, because to me, there's no way a mother can not check somebody out, because to me, if you're a mom, then, and you have kids, then what's going on with you, like, if you're not still with the father of, the person you had the kids with, then basically you should be spending time with raising your kids. Fuck somebody else. Like, you need to spend time on your kids, not bringing somebody else and, around. That's not, not having to be safe.
I never blamed her simply because of the fact of that she did try something and then she tried something else.
Okay.
And the whole zombification thing was just out of her hands. But the fact where, and she tried to get him to get a job so that he can get away from us or whatever, but he never would do it. The only part where I mean, she would talk about him, you know, that's why you got your teeth knocked out, things like that, when they would argue. Um, but no, she
I mean,
really didn't
I'm
do
not.
much else.
I'm
But she was
not.
always gone. That's
Well,
just
I'm
the
not.
problem. When she was there, things was okay. We was protected
Okay.
when she was there.
Okay.
But when she was not there, everything popped off.
What I want to say is, to me, it's not enough, and I don't really care. I feel like it's not fucking enough. You know, like if your kids are having all this stuff happen to them, there's no excuse that you can give that's gonna tell me that, oh, I tried this and that. No, she should have. To me, you know, when you're a mom and you have kids, your priority is your kids. Relationships go out the window. It's about your kids, and you know what I'm saying, making sure your kids are okay. You know, it's not about, you know, basically like just having somebody around that you guys don't know. You know what I'm saying, and not checking somebody out. You know, it's not about that. Now I know this may have been back in the day or whatever, but still, you know, to me, I feel like she should have just focused on raising you guys and not having a relationship and focusing on you guys, because then that never would have happened. You know what I'm saying? It never would have. So it wouldn't have been a, you know, you guys' experience in life would have been different if she, you know, would have saw you guys as more important. Because my question would be like, did you guys like, with your mom, like, did you guys like, had you guys like, how did the situation come where you guys were with her and him? Did you guys just like happen to be, you know, come live with her and then, you know what I'm saying, and then he was there, or
Yeah, that's all
okay,
right.
so see, that's the problem though.
After, well, first she abandoned us at my
Okay.
aunt's because, you know, she couldn't afford an apartment and us too, so she needed our, you know, she was looking for a place that was going to fit, you know, and try to get money and try to save up for a place so it can fit me, my sister, my mom, and this guy. Okay, so she abandoned us first to do that, and then eventually she found a place.
Okay, so where'd she pick the guy up at? Like, it sounds like
That
she
I
just,
never knew.
it sounds like she just picked up some guy, and I'm not trying to be rude about it, but you know, in a way, it kind of speaks to what you have women do these days. They just pick up some crumb from somewhere, and they're thinking about themselves. And you know, my thing is, yeah, you can think about yourself when it's just you and you don't have kids, but you know, and you're single. But when the second you have kids, it's about your kids, you know, and it's about their future and making sure they're okay, you know, and that's, I feel strong with that. You know what I'm saying? Because a parent has the right to protect their kids and make sure their kids are happy. And otherwise, if you can't do that, you should, you know what I'm saying, never have kids. You know, that's what I
mean,
think.
I'm never having.
You know, and this, and yeah, we're not having, you know, kids because, partly because of his experience, and you know, you guys can probably see I don't agree with the stuff that happened with him and his sister when they were younger. I don't agree with that, because I think that, you know, when you become a mom, it's about your kids.
You know, my sister suffers from a lot of, you never protected me, you never protected me, but I couldn't.
But you're a kid,
I couldn't
so
do
you
anything
can't.
to. I couldn't. I mean, and I know what she's talking about.
But there's nothing you can. But
I know
there's
she's
nothing you
talking
can,
about that time I was praying to Jesus.
But there's
the whole
nothing.
time. I
There's.
know it is.
I want to say this. You can't do anything. You're a kid. Okay. It's just plain end of story. You're a kid. You're not a parent.
But when my dad had custody of us, I did protect her. I protected her from several bullies. I did.
Well, honey, you don't have to have guilt over your sister. She's grown now. If she can't deal with that, that's on her. Okay? You're grown up, you know, you have to deal with, you know, and it sucks sometimes for a child. You got to deal with stuff. You got to go to counseling, but you got to do it.
I mean,
you can't blame nobody.
I mean, the thing is that, you know, I never knew that she was being raped from the age of 3 by the same guy.
But you can't.
To age 10.
But there's nothing you can.
I just found out at age 10 that was fucking happening.
But there's
when she was 10.
But there's not shit you can do about that. So you don't worry about that, because you're not. The thing is, and he's trying to take responsibility because she's saying, well, you should have did this, you should have did that. And
it's
if
not
you're,
like she's not. It's not like that she's wrong. She's right.
No,
I just listen to the fucking church. And
she's wrong. She's absolutely fucking wrong.
I could have did something.
Okay, no.
Praying to a Jesus that
no, she's wrong because you're not her dad. Okay, you're not her mom. She's a child. You're a child. You're her brother. Yeah, you're trying, but you are not the parent. You know what I'm saying? You're not the parent. You know, the parents that brought her in this world. So she can't fucking blame you for some bullshit. And I want people to understand that.
Well, if I hadn't sat there and gone to church and did all
but
the
it doesn't,
said, maybe I would.
It doesn't matter.
I wouldn't have believed that shit.
You're a kid. What the fuck are you gonna do as a kid?
Oh,
are you the parent?
No, I'm an older brother.
Are you the parent?
Well, I mean, no.
Did you bring her in the world?
Ain't Jesus supposed to be a parent?
Okay, but no, Jesus is not the parent.
Ain't Jesus and God supposed to be the father? Ain't they
the God of the Bible is supposed to be the father, but the thing is that I'm saying
and doesn't Jesus save? What about faith? I have faith,
but here's the thing: you are not the parent. You're not God, nor are you Jesus, and you're not your mom. You're not your dad. You have no responsibility over that.
Well, yeah, I know I'm not them too, but the church said to use them.
But listen to me. You are a child yourself. You went through stuff that bothers you, and you went through abuse yourself. I don't care if you're the oldest sibling or not, and I don't give a fuck if anybody watches the oldest sibling or not. Okay, if your parents come together to make kids, y'all are their responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And you were a child. And yeah, you might be doing your best to try to take care of the other kids or whatever in your family, but the parents come together to make you. If they didn't want to fucking make you, then, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have had this problem. If you weren't born, you wouldn't have had this issue, right?
Well, my mom didn't want to have a whole bunch of kids that my dad wanted to have. My dad wanted to have 10 kids, and he would poke holes in condoms, I guess, and would just make babies.
But the thing is But
with me, my mom never knew I was in her stomach because my birth is weird.
Okay,
But my sister, on the other hand, she showed and everything.
Okay, but the thing that I want to address is that you're not responsible for the stuff that happened to your sister. You may try to help as a kid, but you can't really do anything. It's the job of the parents. Think about it like if you're thinking about let's say we watch National Geographic, right? You have the, 2 tigers. You have the male and the female tiger. They come together to make, little baby tigers, right? Okay, so both of the tigers that are adults are doing what? They're protecting the kids. They're making sure the kids are okay, right? You see this in a lot of the animals across the animal kingdom. They all do this with their kids. They protect their kids, make sure no harm comes to them. Hell, even if some other kind of animal comes to them, they still beat the shit out of them. So the thing is
makes you wonder how a sentient being like a human, the most intelligent one that can build and civilize, can't even fucking do that for their own kids.
Well, see, but here's the thing, and it's pointing to what you said, is that you are not the parent. And because you're not the parent, you're not responsible for what happened. Your mother had a bearing. I mean, it basically falls on your mom and your dad. If you're with your mom primarily, like if you were with your mom, it's her responsibility. She's the reason that the shit happened. If she never had that person there and it was just her, you would have been fine. You know what I'm saying? But maybe this is because your mom was younger. Maybe it's because she didn't know. Nobody told her. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I would say that people, look, don't have kids. If you are not responsible, don't have no damn kids. If you can't, even take time for your kids, don't have kids. I mean, there's fucked up people out there in the world, and for a child to have to take responsibility, their sibling blaming them over something that happened, seriously, you're not the parent. I think that your sister wants to she wants somebody to blame about it, but she doesn't want to blame her mom, but really it falls heavily on your mom because your mom put you guys in the situation. If she had never had the guy in the situation and she wasn't just having him there, then it never would have happened. She didn't bring y'all in the situation, it wouldn't be the case.
We never would have got taken away from her either.
So the thing is, like with people, and I'm just saying this to be helpful, is that, with kids, don't have kids if you're not prepared to take responsibility for them and listen to your kids, and
They're not trying to
have
have that. They just having kids so they can have money, or they just having kids so they can pressure a man into marrying them.
Well, and that can be a factor as to why some of these women do not. This be a factor about why some of them don't even know what's going on with their kids, or whatever, because they don't trust their kids.
They're just having them so they can have baby showers, so they can have the baby shower experience and the maternity shoot experience.
But what I'm saying
is,
but the thing is that the situation is that people really, like, the women don't care, and that's an issue. Now your mom, sounds like she cared. She tried to do things, but she tried to do things at a time it was too late. And she should have known beforehand. It's something where, like, it becomes your responsibility for a woman once you have the kids and you start, like, having an impact on them. It becomes your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Once you bring them out here, you know what I'm saying, in this world, okay, you're responsible for them. You know what I'm saying? And how they grow up and stuff. Unfortunately, that's the case. So in point, your mom does have she can be blamed for that. Unfortunately, she can be,
because she feels guilty about it. She does. Sometimes when I visit her and I'm in her room and I'm by myself with her, she does tell me that she's sorry and things like that.
I mean, but is that sorry enough to atone for all the stuff that you guys went through for all those years? That's something you have to.
That's all she has.
But that's has a lot to do with you guys.
The only plus thing I have to say is that she only grounded us. She never hit us herself. She never, not once, struck us.
Okay.
No.
And maybe that's because of what happened. Maybe that's it, because she feels guilty. But, like, it's one of those things, like, and your mom, she seems like she's a nice person. I met his mom and stuff. She seems nice, and she's, tries to do her best and stuff, And I think that, in all honesty, I mean, sometimes people just get to stuff too late and they don't know. And maybe his mom didn't know because maybe she had never been told about something like this could happen, by anybody, maybe by her mom.
We eventually stopped telling her because of the demon man's, which is the abuser, zombification her.
Let me finish though. The thing is that I was saying that maybe she didn't know to do anything because she had never heard of anything like this. Maybe she didn't know how to respond to it, and she never knew what to do. Like, I guess maybe she didn't know that once you have kids, it's about taking responsibility and the things you have to do to make sure your kids are safe. Maybe she didn't know that, and that means that you have to think more about protecting your kids as opposed to just having some crumb off the street somewhere and worrying about a relationship rather than kids.
All I can say is that
maybe she just didn't know that, or wasn't taught that when she was growing up.
Plenty of people say, when somebody's just sitting there talking, and they're talking about knowledge they've gained about history, about black people, and about the Bible, and about how it came to be and what it was doing, and they say, you're a demon, you're Satan. That's light work.
We're gonna talk about that.
Oh no, I know what that is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that stuff in action. And living that life daily for years. Straight, without rest. Which is why I have a video called 48-hour sleep mode. Because the first time I finally got rest, I slept for 2 days straight, and my consciousness was out of my body, just floating around looking at me.
Yeah.
I didn't have an astral body or nothing, but my consciousness was just out floating around. But people say that, and I see that all the time. And I'm like, they're not a demon. Like, that's not Satan.
Yeah,
Y'all don't know
talk
what the hell that even
we'll
is.
talk. I mean, we can elaborate
you see
about.
What I see you go through what the hell I've been through, then you'll know what the fuck a Satan is. You'll know what the fuck a demon is then.
Yeah, I feel.
But somebody sitting there talking about information, you want to call them that, please. Or
I
somebody's dead relative. You know, don't call my grandma a demon. She was helping my ass out. You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
that I think that
If anybody is a demon, it's a person who's going to sit there, watch you pray, be omnipresent, have all the power in the world to stop it, and don't do jack shit and watch you go through it.
I think that I think a lot of people may not understand what's going on. You know, are you okay?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people may not understand, as you said, they don't understand, you know, the context of that, of what it, you know, like what they're saying, because they don't really know. They basically just heard somebody else say it. You know, they've heard other people saying, and they're just copying what other people are saying because, you know, they're trying to be liked by the other people in the church. That's pretty much what they're trying to do, you know. They don't really know. I mean, if they went through what you went through, they'd understand, you know. And for him, he looks like, you know, just talking about that is, you know, is a lot. And it is. When you go through something like that, I want people to know how real it is. It's not something that's fake, is really real, you know. And the thing is, and yeah, your emotions, you know, his emotions can get mixed up because, you know, I mean, like, talking about going through that, but then, you know, his mom's there and he loves his mom and everything, and he's seeing everything and stuff. I mean, you know, that's heavy as a kid, you know, and seeing all that stuff and not having any answers. That's pretty fucking heavy. And, you know, like, getting blamed by your sister, whatever the hell. I mean, that sucks. And, like, to be honest, I tell her, in my opinion, tell her sister, like, you know, to me, I just tell her, you know, you need to go see a counselor. You need to go and you need to place blame on the people who are, you know, actually responsible, which would be your mom and your dad. You know, that's who you need to place responsibility on for what happened, because they're the parents. You know, your brother's not your parent. You know, I don't care if you think, oh, he's older or whatever. No, because basically she's just trying to use, you know, you, her brother, as a scapegoat because she really doesn't want to blame her mom. She really doesn't want to, but really deep down, a lot of times people don't know that they have that anger towards people. You know, they have something inside towards people that they never addressed, and because of that, sometimes people will carry out stuff. They will, you know, feel like somebody owes them something because of what they went through. Maybe she feels like somebody owes them something, and I don't know. It's a possibility, you know, because what she went through, maybe she feels some type of way about it, you know, and, you know, that remains to be seen, you know. But, you know, by and large, I think that, you know, it's, and I will say this, it's not just the parents' job too. It's also, you know, anybody around, you know, the people at the church, they're responsible too. You know, they should have been the people there to, you know, Christians always say that they're there to help and, you know, to, you know, they care about the lives of their kids and, you know, help anybody. Well, I think they're responsible too, because they should have been the people to call the police and, you know, get you guys there and, you know, during Sunday and, you know, call the police and the police tell, you know, you guys what's going on and, you know, with you guys and stuff, and, you know, make sure the guy can be arrested. I think that's something that they should have did instead of just telling you to pray or something. That's fucking cop-outs. You know what I'm saying? And really what they should have did is they should have took responsibility, but I think that they didn't know what to do, or they believed so hard in this religion shit that they thought it was going to do something that it didn't. And you got some people who are just so fucking brainwashed in Christianity that they're going to think that's going to do something. It's not going to do. But yes, it is a part of the church's responsibility. Yes, if you have a bunch of people in there, I mean, how many people were in that church? Just be honest. How many people?
30.
Okay, so you got 30 people. And when you guys are going to church, are you guys showing any signs of any bruising, anything, or whatever? Can they see anything?
It was showed at school. It's everywhere. It's
okay.
all
So even your teachers. So teachers at school, they're responsible too, because what they should have did is they should have said, okay, yeah, something's not going on. They should take you aside. Hey, is something going on, something wrong, or whatever. You and your sister both went to school. They should have, basically stuck their neck out and did something to help. And they could have called the police and did something.
Our abuser always told us what to say. He always told us what to say.
But
he always told us what to say in those situations. Well,
did
you say, that you fell down the stairs, that you got hurt playing.
So why did you choose to say those things instead of saying, "Hey, I'm getting abused at home"?
Because in my reality, those teachers will not be there to protect me once he finds out that I told them what he's been doing.
Well, some people watching may say, well, the police could have been called and he could have been arrested. And you guys may not have had to deal with him ever again if either one of you would have just said, or both of you came to the teachers and said something, he could have been arrested. But was it something, did you guys, did you think that he would just do something to, like...
We did think about calling 911. That was a thought.
I mean, at school.
When we thought about calling 911, we also thought about we're just kids. Yeah. They're not going to believe us. They're going to believe him over us. We're going to be seen and not heard. And we believed that it was going to be like the teachers, where, the teachers would say, we would try to give them hints. Are you being abused at home? Are you, we would say, no.
So you could have just said, so you guys never took the chance to say, yes, we're being abused.
We tried, we said, we shook our head, yes. But he would sometimes appear at school during those questions because he has the time. He would appear sometimes and be there. And so we never knew when he was around. So we had to say, we shook our head, yes, but we're saying no, just in case he's around.
So the question that they're probably going to ask is, well,
But we did tell him once.
Okay, before. And what happened when you guys told them?
They called a conference. Okay. They called a parent-teacher conference.
Okay.
And they called him in. No police showed up.
Where was your mom at?
Work.
Okay, so your mom failed to be at the conference. He's not your dad.
Nope.
So did they ask if he was your dad or what? And what did you guys say?
He's our mom's boyfriend.
Okay, but so he's not your... So they're probably thinking that he's your dad, as opposed to saying, no, this is not my dad. My dad lives... did you guys tell them that your dad lived in such and such place?
They did not ask that question.
So basically you didn't think to say, well, this isn't my dad. My dad lives such and such place.
Wasn't smart enough.
Okay, so
we are only in thinking and survival.
Okay, so you guys did. So basically, they don't know.
Never been trained. Didn't know what questions to ask. Didn't know if there was the right questions. Didn't know what was available to us. Did not know.
Okay. So you did. So
didn't know.
Yeah, because with the parent teacher. So had you guys ever been to parent teacher conferences before?
Yes.
Okay, and who came to parent teacher conferences?
My mom would have to call off for those.
Okay, so did you ever say to them, well, like, and you, as a child, you're probably not going to know, like, going through what he's going through. He's thinking on survival instinct, and with very limited information. Like, what we know now, because when did that conference, remember what year that was? Just to give some emphasis on, like, what year that was.
I'm going to say 1997 because I was 7.
So, basically, around that time. Okay.
9 to 12.
That's fine. So, around that time, 1997, that would have been, maybe during that time, because I would have been, I was a kid myself. For that time. But what I kind of want to say is like
You may be young.
with the with that, I mean, during 1997, I mean, during that time, I don't know if they would have talked about that, or the news would have talked about that, or you guys would have been able to see it because you guys didn't really get a chance to watch TV and stuff like that. So I think that in you guys' case, you're just going off of what you can go on. And I think that
That's why we didn't call the police, because we saw what happened with the teachers. We saw what happened with our own mom. We saw what happened with the church. So if no one's there to help us, and not even if the higher power can't help us, if this God, this Jesus can't help us, then the police aren't going to be able to help us either.
Well, so I think like in that regard, like there's not really a lot that you guys can do, but I will say that for the people watching, there is and we're going to continue with the video too because we got content to get through that I didn't get to, but the thing is that if you, and I will say this in the strongest of things, is that if you're somebody and you yourself, like if you are somebody who's getting abused, I don't know how old you might be, but if you're getting abused, what would your advice be to somebody who's getting abused?
Run away. Because I tried calling the child hotline. They came to a house. This is after my dad got custody of us when I was being molested. I was
Okay.
at this time I was being raped.
Okay.
All the time, and now we're being mentally abused.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I called the child hotline. They came to the house. It was like, oh, what's going on? And it's like, oh, we need to do an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And they found some weed on my dad, whatever. He didn't go to jail. It's not something they can put you in the jail for, apparently.
Okay, so.
And then we told them about what was happening, what type of abuse we've been in, what's been going on.
Okay.
And then they believed the parents over us. And so, once they left, we got hurt. A lot. No protection. So, child hotline doesn't work. It's there. It's there to pretend.
So, what did you mean when you say you got hurt? Was your mom in the home? Just to ask the question.
No.
So she wasn't in the home. Where was your mom?
Our mom was in Kansas City while we was in Sedalia.
Why were you stripped from your mom? Just to.
Because I told my dad what happened.
Okay, so basically
he was able to use that for him to get custody because his girlfriend, which is my mom's enemy,
okay,
which has been since she was little, said that, well, go get the kids, get custody of them so that we can get child support.
Okay, so basically,
so it wasn't to protect us.
Okay, so but basically because of what you guys went through with the guy, then that factored in your mom losing you guys because of that. So basically, the way the law looked at it is that, because I'm pretty sure they asked her if she knew, and she would have said that she knew, and they would have found it as necessary to strip you guys away because of what happened. Because she would have said, yeah, I know, and this and that other. But she wouldn't have been able to explain, like, why she couldn't leave and different stuff. So, I mean, that would be a tough spot for her to be in, because she can't really explain why, why she didn't leave and stuff like that. So that's tough. I mean, the thing is paranormal stuff, that, like, the stuff he's gone through is, I don't know how many people it happens to, but, maybe it's happening to people, like, who knows,